This episode is sponsored by the Foreman School in Litchfield, Connecticut, a lovely town it is. A co-educational college prep school that empowers bright students who learn differently. And who would not want to learn differently? To learn more about the nation's first and best co-ed school for high school and postgraduate students with learning differences, go to formanschool.org. That's Forman school.org. Hello and welcome to Distraction. I'm your host, Dr. Ned Hallowell. Today I'm very pleased to tell you that we will be releasing an extra episode every week. This extra will be in the form of a Q&A, i.e. question and answer, where I will respond to one listener's question each week. And I'm very pleased to welcome the Foreman School in Litchfield, Connecticut, to the Distraction family as a sponsor of these Q&A episodes. We're very happy to be working with them and appreciate their sponsorship of the podcast. Okay, if that's all clear, let's turn to today's question. Hi, Dr. Ned. This is the question. I'm reading it to you. I'm a 40-year-old male. I've held a steady office computer job for about 13 years now. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 23 years old while still in school. I don't currently medicate. Dexedrine was very helpful for me in the past, but I stopped taking it over 5 years ago, and things have been okay since then. For at least a year now, I've become quite bored with my job. I recently, just now in 2021, started working from home, which I do like. But I end up feeling guilty a lot of the time when I'm not spending the same number of hours working as I used to, aka time theft. Although I like the steady income, I'm thinking that this career is just not for me. I could start medicating again and force myself to improve my work performance, but I feel that doing this would be just faking it and not really being true to myself. Also, I have no emotional connection to my company or any of my coworkers. There's really nothing wrong with the job or the people. I'm just bored with it and with them. I could start applying to new jobs, but who's to say that the exact same thing wouldn't happen again with the new one? Also, I feel like I should be happy with what I have, since many others are out of work or suffering health or business problems. Is this normal? How would you suggest I proceed? Thanks, Victor. Wow, Victor, you have described a really common situation for all kinds of millions of people, whether they have ADHD or not. And you put it in such honest and forthright and in some ways humorous language. First of all, just let me say I like you, just having read your note. You seem like a wonderful man, and whatever happens, you ought to do well, and I hope you're in a happy relationship because you seem like somebody who would do well in a relationship. But let me address why you wrote to me. First of all, I think it's a reasonable expectation, certainly for someone who's educated and intelligent as you are, that you find a job that you like and that's populated by people who you also like. Now, since the pandemic began, a lot of us have been working alone and not in the company of other people. So we've had to get used to social isolation, which is terrible. But even notwithstanding that, it sounds like the work itself is just not engaging you. In terms of what kind of a job ought you to be looking for, I think a great career is the overlap of three circles. The things that you're really good at doing, the things that you like to do, and the things that someone will pay you to do. Where those three overlap, that's the kind of job you should be looking for. So a job that is something you like doing, you're good at, and someone will pay you to do it. And I would start looking now, don't give up your current job, but I'd start looking for one that you can really sink your teeth into. And that's a reasonable expectation. You said you could start applying, but who's to say that the exact same thing wouldn't happen with the new one? Well, If you get a job that is doing something you like, that you're good at, then the same thing shouldn't happen. The only other variable is who will you be working with. And from the sound of this letter, you're someone who can get along with a lot of people. You're particularly smart and you have ADHD, so that probably means you won't, bond famously with everyone. But all you need is one or two close friends at work to make a big difference, and then just get along with the rest. So find one or two people who, or you like the cut of their jib, and befriend them. And then the others just get along with. So my prognosis for you is excellent. I think you need an infusion of positive energy, an infusion of hope. Use your imagination to look for a new job. I would consider starting medication again unless you had a good reason for getting off of it, just because medication tends to, when it works, make life easier, like eyeglasses do. But it's certainly not necessary. I would certainly give yourself permission to find work that is fulfilling, rewarding, stimulating, challenging, and go for that. We need challenge. We absolutely need challenge. I call it in my new book, ADHD 2.0, I call it finding the right difficult. Find the right challenge. Find a job that challenges you, that matters to you, and you'll be engaged and it'll become meaningful. Well, that's a long answer, but it was a wonderful letter with a very large question that I think is relevant to everyone, whether they have ADHD or not. So thank you for writing in. Take care, Victor. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We will be releasing a new Q&A episode every Monday, so be sure to send in your question. I totally love getting them. You can write it in an email or record a voice memo and send it to connect@distractionpodcast.com. Distraction is created by Sounds Great Media. Our recording engineer and editor is the estimable Scott Persson, who never misses a beat. And our producer is the also never misses a beat, Sarah Guertin. This is Dr. Ned Hallowell saying goodbye for now. The episode you just heard was sponsored by the Foreman School in Litchfield, Connecticut, beautiful Litchfield. Foreman gives students who learn differently the resources to discover what they care about, to find success in a wide range of fields, and to just be themselves, not just their diagnosis. Learn more about the nation's first and best co-ed school for high school and postgraduate students with learning differences at formanschool.org. That's Forman school.org.